Welcome to this month's reading of Elevate Healing LLC's newsletter, written by Scarlett Ekaroma. Hello. It's your favorite therapist and coach of all things mind and soul, Scarlett, back in action with another dose of this month's podcast newsletter. Can you believe it? It's already time for our monthly rendezvous. I sure can't. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee, soaking up the afternoon sun, or snuggled in for a cozy evening, I'm thrilled to have you here. Now, hold on to your hats, because today we're diving headfirst into the wild world of transition, acceptance, and grief. But fear not, my friends, fear not, because we're about to turn those heavy topics into enlightening conversations that'll leave you feeling empowered and inspired. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick off this month's podcast newsletter. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to today's segment of Catching Up with Scarlett. So let's talk about all of April. So if I had to define April in a couple of words, I would say challenging and revealing is what I would say. April was definitely challenging for me on personally and also professionally as well. And so many things occurred. Is one of the things I am experiencing is that the more you continue to elevate, there are some things that come your way that just are like, where did that come from? So I'm grateful for the continual essence and elevating, and I had to prepare myself, which is the revealing part, that I need to continue to tighten up and buckle down a little bit more on all facets. And so but in general, with that, April continues to, it was amazing. I officially launched to the world and shared with the world the Elevates Emporium. I am just amazed and a little shocked. I won't say shocked. I'm amazed by like all the orders I've gotten, and just thank you for those who are listening, and thank you for the orders. It is just like, whew. And I realize how much work it takes to put into any clothing merch that you put out, or just any merchandise just in general, because it's your name, it's how you're doing. I mean, it came down to fonts, material type, colors, the size of the font, size of the logo. I mean, it was just so much that entailed, and it didn't happen overnight. Like, that process was 2.5 years in the making. And part of it also was I was working through my own mental blocks to put it out there, because it was like, oh, I don't know. But then I'm glad I worked through it, because it has been working out really well. So just really grateful for that aspect in that. So I think the other part of April, what taught me was, when going through those challenges, is the notion of, how am I going to continue to choose me even in these challenging moments? And what that looked like for me was, how I chose me was how I was going to manage and think about and the feelings that I was feeling and processing in order to continue to healthily move forward. So that's how I chose me in April. And even when launching the clothing merch, I was like, let's just choose you. And I launched it on a random day. I literally woke up on a Friday and I said, today's the day. And I just said, let's just do it. So even the social media post that I put out, like, I had made that social media post, oh gosh, I want to say over a month ago. And I just sat on it and I just said, nope, today's the day. Today's the day, and I launched it, and it has been amazing. So that is my catch up for the month of April, and I can't believe it's April. April, I can't believe April has surpassed, and now we are totally into May, and we are in the 5th month of the year. It's so amazing. But again, please share your stories and let me know how your April went. I love hearing from you all, whether you send it to me on social media or send me an email or leave a message on my website. I appreciate it. I appreciate it for y'all continuing to rock with me on various platforms. It is amazing that here I am, and I believe this is year 2 of doing these podcast newsletters, and I'm just humbled, I'm grateful, and I'm thankful. So let's continue forward in this May podcast newsletter. All right, beautiful people, it is that time where I ask you for your help. You know why? Because I do need your help, and I can't do this without y'all. So my first ask is that if you could share this podcast newsletter with one other person. That's it, just one person. And whoever you shared it with, ask them to share it with one other person as well. So thank you for that. My next ask is give me a follow on all my social media accounts and share it with somebody else that you know on your social media accounts. So you can give me a follow at Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Elevate Healing LLC. Want to know more about me and what I do? Go to my website at www.elevatehealingllc.com. Or if you have an idea or a topic, or you would just like to share with me something of how this podcast newsletter impacted you, you have some ideas that I could share in the podcast newsletters, send me a message at info@elevatehealingllc.com. Thank you so much. I truly greatly appreciate you. So today's segment, Moments with Scarlett, is entitled Embracing the Ebb and Flow, Navigating Relationships in Transition and Handling It with Grace. As we step into the cool, vibrant month of May, we find ourselves amidst a season of change. Just as nature gracefully transitions from the chill of winter to the bloom of spring, so do our relationships undergo their own ebb and flow. This month, our focus is on embracing these transitions with grace and navigating the ever-changing currents of our connections with understanding, resilience, and the acknowledgement of grief. Navigating relationships and transition is always interesting because sometimes people think that transition means like it's completely ended or we're no longer connected. But it could also mean, that's one way, but it could also mean how does this relationship transition in the growth part of it as well. And so, I've experienced a lot of grief in various relationships, whether personal or career-wise. And, it's such a great place for self-reflection and self-improvement. And what I recognize in a lot of my relationships is that I would often have to do almost a people audit, because I had to do an audit on myself because I often put others' needs before me. And that always came, unfortunately, at a detriment and health issues for me. I had to set some really, really very, very important boundaries. I had to, improve my self-care, and then if the transition brought the ending of a relationship, I had to practice and learn to enjoy all of what the ending of the relationship brought to me, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the challenging. And I truly had to learn to let go. I think the other part was like when moving forward from a relationship, I had to let go of the story that the individual may have told, because I decided to not move forward. And I had to really sit with, the story's not important. That's not the important part. The important part was me restoring what I had given up of myself or AKA self-sacrifice for the relationship. And again, this just wasn't, personal wise. This was also really career wise as well. And I just recognized that I was so used to self-sacrificing at the detriment of me. It just caused so many physical ailments. I mean, I would be nauseous, headaches, feel the stress in my body somewhere, had trouble sleeping. I would excessively exercise, or I would emotionally eat, just a lot of self avoidance and self sabotage is how I would say I navigated those areas in my life. And, life is, even though it's hard, life is always about some part of transitioning, whether it be a job, a relocation, and especially when it comes to personal growth journeys, those are the ones that can be challenging, because sometimes we get in a place of comfort, and sometimes that place of comfort is not our final resting area or where we're supposed to be. And during these times of transition, our relationships can face like true tests of strength and flexibility. And it's important for us to recognize that again, change is just a natural part of our life, and how we navigate these transitions and how we can significantly, impact I guess I would say the trajectory of the course of it. And, some of the tips that I would recommend that we can do, or that you can do, is, be open in communication. And I think I recognize how imperative open communication is. Like, for example, when somebody used to hurt my feelings, I just wouldn't say anything. Now I'm just like, hey, can we talk about this comment that you made, because it hurt my feelings, and this is what I need moving forward. Because we have to make space for those conversations, especially if this is somebody who is imperative or significant to you, and really share your thoughts and your fears and your aspirations, and you encourage them to do the same. Again, because when you have an open communication, this fosters understanding and strengthening of the bond between you. Again, and if the person doesn't honor that, I would recommend you do an audit, a people audit, and recognize, like, what do you want to do with this person in your life. Whatever you decide to do is fine as well. The next thing that you can do is, embrace the fluidity of flexibility and adaptability within your relationship, and just recognize that things will or may shift and priorities change, especially if you're, in a relationship and you're just got married, have a new kid, and instead of resisting these fluctuations, approach it with an open mind and a willingness to adjust. How can you talk with, again, that open communication, how you all can adjust together. Next is show empathy, towards a person's experience and emotions during this time of transition, and validation is very, very imperative, because when you validate, of course, that's one of the most important feelings I always that I feel is very important, is being seen and being heard. And when you validate someone's feelings and you offering unwavering support, that continues not only to empower them but empower you, and it really makes all the difference. And lastly, self-care. And yes, it's important to be there for your loved ones and your family members and work and coworkers, or whatever parts of community that you are a part of. Is you have to prioritize yourself. You have to take time to recharge, nurture yourself, not only physically, but mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Because again, when you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to show up for others in such a meaningful way. And I could say I'm definitely a testament to that for sure. And like handling it all with grace, because like I said, not all relationships last, are forever, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Like I said, I've gone through various relationships, and I'm grateful for the times that we had together, and I'm also grateful for the times that of what I had learned about myself. And so, the thing about it is just some transitions lead you down a different path, and that's okay. And it's always important to honor your journey with grace, understanding, and acknowledgement, through acceptance, through closure, through gratitude. And yes, it's okay to grieve. It's absolutely okay to grieve that something ended. Grief is not a bad thing. I definitely have continued to embrace. Well, if grief comes up in the relationships that I have transitioned from, and I always go back to, I was grateful for that time, like that gratitude part, really, really thinking, embracing the gratitude of what all that relationship taught me, and particularly what it taught me about myself. Hey there, beautiful listeners. Are you ready to elevate your style game? Well, I've got just the thing for you. Introducing Elevates Emporium, your one-stop shop for the coolest clothing merch around. Whether you're looking for trendy tees, comfy hoodies, or stylish jackets, Elevates Emporium has got you covered. And guess what? We've got a variety of colors to choose from, so you can find the perfect shade to match your vibe. But wait, there's more. Elevates Emporium isn't just for adults. We've also got a fantastic selection of children's sizes available, so the whole family can rock that Elevate style. And the best part, you can shop with ease. Head over to our website to browse our full collection, or simply click the link in our newsletter to snag your favorite pieces. So what are you waiting for? Elevate your wardrobe today with Elevates Emporium. Your fashion upgrade awaits. Ooh, self-care tip of the month. Oh, I love giving self-care tips. So today's or this month's self-care tip of the month it's kind of a continuation of last month's, if you remember. And that was on giving yourself a pause before answering. So this month's self-care tip of the month is just give yourself a pause. I mean, AKA take a break. So, and I've talked about taking a break before. And so let's kind of talk a little bit about why. In this midst of life's hustle and bustle, it's essential to remember the power of giving yourself a pause or a break. So here's why it's important. And let's talk about how to do that effectively. It's important because taking a break is a necessity for your well-being. Pausing allows your mind, body, and body and soul to recharge, refocus, and rejuvenate. It helps prevent burnout. It boosts productivity, and enhances your overall mental health. So here's how to do it effectively. Schedule some breaks. Now, breaks does not have to mean it has to be 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I'll take 5. Give me 5 minutes. That's all I'm going to encourage you to do. The other way to do that is to listen to your body. Your body will let you know what it needs. So for example, if you're feeling tired or overwhelmed, it's most likely a sign that you need a break. And really honor those signals that your body is giving you. Also disconnect, especially from technology in particular. Step away from your desk, put your phone away, don't turn on the TV, and continue to engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation, and because those things allow you to truly unplug, unwind, and unrest. Another way to do it effectively is to practice mindfulness. We've talked about this before too. It's like the importance of mindfulness, and use those breaks to help with the focus and be present in the moment, engage in your senses. On the actual email newsletter, there is a video that you can watch to practice mindfulness in that video, and that's only a 5-minute guided breathing exercise and meditation. So you can utilize that as well. So remember, giving yourself a pause or a break, it is not selfish. Let me repeat, it is not selfish to give yourself a pause or a break. It is an actual act of self-care that ultimately benefits you and those around you. So prioritize your well-being and make time for moments of rest and rejuvenation in your daily life. So take a break, recharge, and come back stronger than ever. And that's a wrap for this month's podcast newsletter. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, folks. I hope you found some nuggets of wisdom, a good laugh to carry, you through the adventures in this self-discovery, because this adventure of self-discovery is definitely an adventure and always has its peaks and its valleys, highs and lows, but it is truly an adventure that is well worth it. Now, don't forget to stash away those golden insights you picked up today. Let them be your guiding stars as you tackle the twists and turns of life. And hey, while you're at it, why not sprinkle a little extra gratitude and mindfulness into each moment? It's like adding sprinkles to your ice cream, which makes everything sweeter. Keep rocking and rolling on your journey to becoming the superhero version of yourself. This is your favorite therapist and coach, Scarlett, signing off. So until the next time, take care of yourselves wherever you may be. Bye-bye.